Alright, you guys. So, oh man, it's cold. Okay, so I just put Lex down for a nap. It's currently 10:06 and it's Saturday, so the kids are home. They're watching Sonic 2 and playing with Play-Doh and I forget what else. And if you hear Beans, he's currently kenneled up. He was being bad. Him and Pippin ran off out of the yard and just being little buttheads, so I had to separate them. He's fine. He's totally fine, guys. He's just whining. He's at that puppy stage. I just kenneled it up maybe 10 minutes ago. And yeah, it's been different. I kind of want to do like a weekly thing in the car, like I mentioned in my last video, but yet at the same time, like I do want to do that. But I'm thinking about doing like a daily update, I guess. I don't know. I suffer from PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And throughout the week, like even if I write it down, like in here. Hold on, my grandmother's calling me. Okay, so like I was saying, my grandmother called me and I was talking to her and stuff like that. So I can write it down. Like I can write down how I feel every day emotionally and stuff. I could do all that. I am currently sick. Great. It like hit me today, like sinus and everything. But I can write it down or anything. I can put how I feel. I can, you know, day by day, hour by hour, or like highest and lows, good and bad about the day. I can do that. But then when it comes time to therapy, I have this problem of where, and I've been like this since I was little, but mostly ever since my last relationship, with like all the narcissism and abuse and everything that went on with it. Even if something is bad and I had a really bad week or something is going on, I'll be like, oh yeah, I had a good week. Like I'll tell about it. Like I'll, you know, like it might take me a minute, but like I will tell about the things that happen. And then I just act like it's not that big of a deal, because like if I act like something or somebody got on my absolute last nerve, I feel like I'm bad mouthing them. I feel like I don't, like, I love them, but I don't want it to come out like I don't love them, or they're like a complete bother to me, or this thing made it so bad, like it was something like out of the ordinary, like the post office man, you know, that like made me like so upset. And honestly, it didn't even make me that upset. I was just confused, but because it was so new, like it seems like that's what aggravated me the most, and not what happened the rest of the week. And I just feel like if I do these verbal daily updates, then maybe by me talking about it now instead of writing it down, I'm talking about it, so then I already talked about it once, then I can talk about it when I have my therapy session every week. And I think that would be very good for me. I think it would be very helpful for me. I want to try it and see, because I do like to talk. I do. Like, ever since I was little, I got in trouble in kindergarten for talking. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. I wouldn't stop talking. But anyways, I like to be like a people pleaser, I guess you would say. And just now, recently, I've started to say no. And no to situations that jeopardize my time and my schedule. And no to emergencies that it's like, can somebody else do it? Example, like, I like rescuing my mom. I wasn't going to say no to her. Like, not just because she's my mom, but like legitimately, out of everybody that could have done it, I could have done it. But I'm going to say my mom's example. When my mom lost her keys in the lake, you know, I had to go, you know, at first, you know, it was my cousin and my grandmother, and then the very next day was Friday, and I'm like, if she had other people, and, you know, she didn't ask everybody else, You know, could somebody else do it? That way I don't have to go pick up my kids early from school and have my great grandmother watch them and take a 5-hour trip, which ended up being a 5-hour trip, to go rescue my mom to then come back. You know what I mean? You know, stuff like that. Like, okay, so I'm starting to say no more, and I'm starting to accept that I cannot overfill my plate. I cannot do that. I'm accepting that, you know, I'm pretty hard on the kids, but I'm hard on the kids in like a way that a lot of people wouldn't agree on, I guess. Like, I am their parent first before I am their friend, and I have to correct them in things that they are wrong in. And my struggle is I have a child with ODD. I started to say ODHD. ODD and ADHD. And I find myself, and then like my other child is borderline ODD, and she has problems, what is it called, thinking before you act on something. There's a terminology for it, I forget what it is, but I'm so quick to be like, no, like not no, but you know, you gotta get your pants on, you gotta get your shoes on, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta. Like, I'm constantly onto them because they get sidetracked so easily. And when you're on a time frame to get ready for school, to, you know, get your homework done, to eat your food, and, you know, there's limits and boundaries and everything in between. Like, you can't just be like 100% lenient with them and be their best friend. And I have a problem with, because I'm always redirecting, because they're always getting sidetracked and always wanting to argue. And it's not like an argue thing of like they hate me and, you know, like they don't respect me. It's a thing of like there's medical diagnosis underneath it. That makes sense. So like I have to pick and choose my battles. One of them, ever since Aubrey was in preschool, I want to say second year of preschool. Yeah, second year of preschool. I let the kids pick their own clothes for school. And I told them, I'm like, look, this is what she's wearing. This is what he's wearing. In our house, I don't choose their clothes for them. Unless it's like legitimately against the weather. Like, you can't wear a spaghetti strap summer dress or really short shorts when it's snowing outside. Hold on. Okay, so anyways, picking and choosing battles. I have to work on that. Also, I am working on, like, I always felt that kids need an explanation for everything because kids don't understand why. And you know what? I'm starting to learn that I'm going back and forth between this power struggle because they have ODD. And with that ODD, they want to argue and fight about everything. And I don't need to explain to them every single time and have this big power struggle with them on everything. No. What I say goes. And that's that. I told you to get your clothes out of the dryer. I'm not explaining to you why. I'm not giving you an explanation why. You are at the age where you know why. Make sense? Okay. So, with that, I have a child that will still continue to tell me why she feels something. And I'm like, no, enough. And she'll keep going. Enough. And it's a struggle. I just had to pause it because of that situation. Anyways, a couple other things that have happened. like I'm saying, I think that I want to do a daily update with you guys about my depression, my anxiety, and not like show them to you, but basically like go over what and all's going on. And I'm not gonna put like major like things out there, like some things need to be kept off the internet. Honest to God, they do. But just like, hey, so like last night, I was having like, okay, so I picked up the kids, and it was nothing that they did, honestly, but I just got overwhelmed. Super overwhelmed. I had Daniel that was supposed to get off at 2, and it wasn't even the fact that he wasn't home. Like, I'm not one of those people where like I'm controlling, because I'm really not. But he was supposed to get off at 2. 2:30 rolled around, 3 o'clock rolled around, and I'm like, okay, I hear an ambulance, I hear a fire truck, and I hear police cars all going up in a direction to where you work. I'm freaking out. Like, did you get into a car accident? You know, did something happen? Because I don't know. And I was worked up about that. And then I had to keep redirecting the kids about cleaning up the living room and getting the table cleaned off so we could eat dinner. And like, it's been a week about going at it with them about their room and just how unclean it was. So I set a timer on, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to trigger the Echo Dot, but I had to set a timer. And I was like, look, it may be 4:30, but if that living room is not clean, y'all are going to be in your room. I'm not, I just had a bird flying through the window, but I'm not dealing with it. I'm not constantly redirecting you. And I gave them 5 minutes because they were already at this for 30 minutes of cleaning up toys off the living room floor and shoot up stuff from the dogs. And because honestly, I was getting Lex's clothes ready for a bath later on, because he somehow, even though I changed him, he ended up peeing himself. Is it raining? It's about to rain. But like, he ended up peeing through his clothes, and I don't understand how I did it, y'all. I really don't understand. But I was getting his clothes ready to give him a bath. I was preheating the oven for the pizza, cutting it open so the pizza can go on the pan. And then I was like putting dishes into the dishwasher, and I had my own stuff going on, so I had like, can y'all pick this up? Anyways, after like a little bit of that and them just like arguing and fighting back, am I lying? I was supposed to pick this up, or else no. Y'all are working together, picking it up. You was over here, he was over here. Why are you going over and like causing issues about the spot that y'all were cleaning? It's kids, right? Kids. So I told them, and then that 5-minute timer, they were like, hey, nope, I don't want to be in my room. I want to be able to have movie night. I want to, I want to be able to stay up. So got that done. They got the room done. And then I had Lex that was just like, he was straight telling people no. He was, like, he had a cookie. He was trying to take their cookies, and he was like, he was being mean. He was being a mean little 2-year-old. And I had enough of that. Like, so I sat him down in timeout, and I had a word with him about that, and I made him apologize. And by that time, Daniel got home, and Daniel had a bad day at work, but he didn't take it out on anybody. Like, don't assume anything. I didn't take anything out on anybody. Like, it was just a very overwhelming, chaotic day that was out of the norm for like his job and stuff like that. So, anyways, I told Daniel, I was like, let's leave our phones in the room and let's just go have movie night and game night and stuff with the kids. And I don't know what happened. I do get overstimulated very, very easily. And I also don't tolerate people being rude in the sense. Like, kids talking through a movie, it's expected. But when your kids know going in to a movie, like, don't talk the whole entire time while the movie is playing. And don't give spoilers if you've already seen it. And, you know, if you decide to not watch the movie, but you decide to color at the table or play with Play-Doh, like, use a level 1 conversation. Like, you know, if you want to sing, level 1. So, repeatedly, multiple times, I had to tell Obs to quiet down because she was at a level 10 while we were watching Shrek last night, and Mason kept giving spoilers. And I say this because I'm not mad about the situation. I'm not like none of that, okay? Like, they're gonna be kids, okay? I say this, I love them to death, but I want you guys to understand that, like, if you go through, like, the same things, I'm here for you, because my channel is not about sugarcoating parenting, or sugarcoating life, or saying, oh my gosh, like, look, I have a bag of Flamin' Hots that honestly should be closed on my bed, okay? My hair, it's a mess, it's whatever. So, I just want y'all to know that, like, I'm trying to be open and honest with you guys. But, yeah, there was a lot going on. I had one child throughout the whole entire movie telling me what's going to happen next, even though he requested for the movie to be put on because he hadn't seen it in a while and he didn't remember it. Then I had another child that would not sing at a level 1 at the table. I had a toddler that, yes, he was tired. Would he go to bed? No. I had him, like, just wanting cookies and wanting suckers. And the suckers are for potty training, by the way. But he just wanted cookies and suckers. And then he wanted, like, cheese. And then he didn't want the cheese. And then he wanted to be, like, he was a very indecisive, very angry, hormonal toddler. Super bad. So I, like, took myself and I up and left the living room. And I was like, I'm going to the room for 30 minutes by myself. Nobody can bother me. Like, y'all are good doing your own thing. Just let me be me because I am overwhelmed. I was like, I'm overwhelmed. I need a moment to cool down. You know, trying to demonstrate what to do when you feel anxious or like you can't control the situation, or you know what I mean. So I came into the room. Well, next thing you know, I got on my way to the room, I was like, hey Aubrey, since you're not watching the movie, can you take a shower? And she goes, yeah, she's in the shower. And then I got Daniel coming in the room with Lex. Not even a minute after I up and left. I got him coming in the room with Lex, changing him, which is fine. And then I had Mason that wanted to be in here because we weren't out there, which is so bizarre to me. It, like, drives me up the wall. And then I was telling him to get his clothes ready, and I told him that, like, you don't have to be in my room just staring at me. Like, just staring at me. So I was starting to feel like I wasn't heard, and like nothing. And Daniel changed Lex, and then he was like having him be like a little spy ninja thing and like all over me, and it wasn't. I was like even more getting stressed out and overwhelmed, and I'm about to cry talking about this because when somebody says they need space for a little bit, give them their space, because you have like this much, and then you feel like your walls are getting closer and closed in and closed in and closed in and closed in. You can't breathe, and you feel an anxiety and panic attack coming. That's what I was feeling. So Aubrey gets out of the shower, Mason gets in. While that's going on, Daniel puts a screaming toddler on the toilet to see if he would sit on it. And I'm just like, Like, I'm looking into my bathroom as I'm speaking right now. Like, that's how close we have a bathroom in our bedroom. And Lex was, like, hysterically losing it because he was an emotional, hormonal toddler. And I couldn't escape that. I couldn't escape that. Like, my room is my personal space when I need to get away. Not the living room where there's a bunch of distractions. Not the kitchen. Not nothing. Like, my bedroom is my personal space. So then I had Aubrey in here, just staring. And I'm like, the same thing I told you, brother. I need personal space. I need it. She would not go away. She would not. And I'm like, I have spent endless amount of time with you tonight, one-on-one. And I've spent an endless amount of time with your brother, one-on-one. I need my one-on-one with myself for a moment, please. And she would not go away. Like, nobody was respecting my personal space. I just needed it. And as a mom, you need it. You need quiet. You need it. So then, like, I said enough is enough. And at that point, I was like, you know what? We'll finish the movie tomorrow. Everybody can go to bed. I'm done. So then, Daniel put Lex to bed, and I climbed in the bed. And this was all last night, by the way. So, I go and I climb in the bed. I put the covers over me, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to be bothered. Don't bother me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. Don't do anything. I want my personal space. Then I got Daniel climbing in the bed, apologizing, and you know, at that point, it's not helpful. It's really not. Like, he means well. He does. But when you have old trauma like that, where you have somebody that just keeps, like, pounding your personal space and keeps attacking you and attacking you and attacking you and attacking you and attacking you physically, mentally, verbally, emotionally, and everything in between, like, and then they took you to your breaking point and you're backed up against the wall and you don't know what to do, and like, you're just sitting there and you just want to, and then you have them going, well, I'm sorry, you know, it's like, Daniel didn't say it was my fault. He didn't say it was my fault at all. But oh my god. Anyways, he was apologizing, and I'm like, I just want to be left alone. Please. I just want my personal space. I want to be heard and given that respect and boundaries. Like, that's all I want. Like, when you come from a relationship where the person that wasn't in the wrong is always in the wrong because of a narcissist, abuser, drug addict, and everything in between. And then as soon as, like, your, like, depression hits you and you don't want to face anything, and then they come at you and they're like, well, you're the reason why you feel like this, and, you know, you let that get to you, and, you know, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault that you let what they say get to you, and it's your fault that you're a bad parent, and your fault, and you're, when in reality, you're doing more than enough to be the best that you can. And that you're learning, or that you know that everything that your in-laws have said was very toxic in-laws, and you knew that since day one. And he just wanted to side with them. He never picked you. He never picked the person that was right. He never picked his wife. It's hard. It's hard because when you got somebody that's not doing that exactly, but you're there where you always felt like before, it doesn't help. So then I had Daniel feeling bad. And then when you got, well, because of like that, and then you start to feel like, you're like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, you're right, I am crazy, I am psychotic, but in reality, you know what, when it comes to things like now and panic attacks before to that, more so now, because back then, I don't know what I would have done, honest to God. Like, I had panic attacks and anxiety attacks because I didn't know what was going to happen. But now, when I got Daniel, immediately apologizing and everything and going, I'm sorry, I'll take care of the kids when I get home. You do you back off. Then I start to feel like the bad person again. I do. I feel like I did back then. And it's rough. It's really, really, really rough. It's really rough because then, like, 2 different scales, but, like, same kind of, like, emotional cycle, I guess you would say. You got one bad guy, one good guy. I felt like last night, when all I wanted to do was go to sleep. It was like 6:30 and I wanted to go to sleep. I laid there in bed. And because he was trying to make things right when I wasn't ready to, because I was at my point where I couldn't breathe and everything in between. What?
Mason wants me to pick. He's letting me pick, but he's not letting me pick by having...
Okay, so back to this. It's crazy, ain't it? Kids. Anyways, back to this. I get in my head of alright. Back to what I was saying again. So anyways, you got these feelings of past relationship of, I'm the crazy one, I gotta change, it's in my head, I need to learn how to get along with people, I need to be a better parent, I need to be a better, my relationship sucks because of this and this, and it did suck, okay, back then, it really did, but now, you got a really good relationship, and you go into this cycle of, and now everybody else feels bad because, I snapped. Like, I introvertedly snapped. Didn't take it out on nobody, but I snapped on the inside. I was done. And I started feeling last night like, I'm the crazy one. My relationship sucks. Nobody can respect, my personal space and boundaries. I'm constantly feeding out to everybody to make sure that my kids are being mature, or mature's not really the word, but well-rounded children that are still children that have morals and values and respect and, pick up after themselves and, everything that comes with that, while also breaking family cycles from that side. See what I'm saying? And it's hard. It's really hard, especially when you got like a bunch of mental disorders thrown into play there. So it's hard. It's really hard. So then last night, like, Daniel finally came in the bed, and I felt horrible. I felt like maybe I overreacted. Maybe, you get like all of these self emotions and thoughts that doesn't help when you feel that way. But I have to tell myself that, and I'm still learning this. I'm learning triggers and cues and everything from past that affect my present. like I'm saying, and what I have to do to step away, and you know what I mean? So I like now I have to learn when to step away and take that time. And you know, sometimes I can't step away in that moment. I can't do that. Like if you're in the car and your kids are just being all over, just horrible, you know, you do what you gotta do. You do what you do as a parent to correct them, but you can't just like up and get out of the vehicle and stand outside the car in the middle of the highway for 30 minutes or an hour or however long it's going to take you. You can't do that. I'm still trying to find those coping skills and everything to do that. But I mean, sometimes as parents you need 30 minutes. Sometimes you need 20 minutes. Sometimes you need an hour. Sometimes you need a couple of hours, you know. So it depends, you guys. But I'll tell you, you know, I gotta talk with Daniel about it. I do. I gotta talk to him about it. I didn't even get to tell him why I was upset last night. And why I didn't want his apology immediately. Like, it wasn't him. Like, it wasn't. It was like everything going on. I was overstimulated. I was overwhelmed. I was on edge. Like, my kids couldn't see it. Honest to God, like, my kids couldn't see it. I was masking it. Daniel could see it, though. But I wasn't heard. And I wasn't seen. Even when I verbally said to my kids, I need to be seen. I need to feel better. I need to have a moment. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I just want to say that you're not alone. You're not alone as parents. You're not alone. That it's okay to get overwhelmed. It's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to have depressions. It's okay to have panic attacks. It's okay. What's not okay is taking it out on your kids. It's not okay to, and let me explain this the best way I can. You know, you don't want to make it to your kids, make it seem like everything's fine and dandy and that you're like all around a perfect person. Because then they're going to have this expectation of my parents are perfect and I have something wrong with me. I'm not perfect. No. What I'm saying is, don't let them see you, drinking the alcohol and the smoking and, being verbally disrespectful to each other. And, if they see you get into an argument, let them also see that, you apologize to each other. Even if you're not in the wrong, apologize to each other. And, like I told my kids last night, I've got to get away. I looked them, all of them in the eye. Like Lexus too, so he doesn't understand. But I looked them all at once, and I was like, I gotta have me time. I gotta get away. I gotta go, climb into bed. I gotta decompress. I got to let me do me, and then I will regroup with you guys. I didn't get that last night. And it's a work in progress. So, am I going to have panic attacks and anxiety attacks in front of my kids? Probably. We're human, it happens. Do I get irritated when my anxiety attack comes along and people see it as I'm irritated and I'm nitpicking and I'm being controlling and anxious? yeah, it happens. But you know what? I apologize. I apologize to my kids. You know, because when it comes down to it, I don't want them thinking that, you know, mom's a complete psycho and she never did anything to help us, and mom did nothing but have like a freaking an ill mind, because I don't. I'm healing from it. Like, I'm not manic. I'm not like schizophrenic where I want to like kill people, and I'm not a psychopath, and you know, like I'm not like that. And I apologize if I offend anybody with those like terminologies, but I'm going based upon like serial killers. Okay. I'm not like that. But I do want them to understand that it's okay to get depressed. It's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay. But here's what we do to take the step to get out of that attack, to get out of that feeling, to move on from it, to not dwell on it. And even if you do dwell on it, it's okay, but let's get out of that. That makes sense. So if I like trigger warning anybody, I don't know, like I'm upset about it. It's currently 11:04. I started this an hour ago. Constantly kept having to pause to go deal with my children. Lex is officially taking a nap because he kept getting woke up by his crazy siblings. But I feel like if I do like a daily update about like what happened the day before, I guess you would say, I feel like I'd be okay with talking about it in therapy. And yeah, I think it'll be alright. I think I'm gonna be okay. And I want to work on these things. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and give us a big thumbs up. And if you guys, you know, go through anything like that, comment down below. Let me know if you have any prayers. Let me know, and I'll be taking them to church with me. Yeah, so let me know. Comment down below. Alright, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.